Oh, g'day guys, it's Sam here from Build Not Bought and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're doing a Q&A video. Yes, that is right. I put the word out on the socials on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. There's also a list of questions from my last Q&A video. If you want to go watch that, I'll drop a link in the description below. Enough chat from me, let's get into it. First question is from one of my Patreon members, Trent Gilliver. When are you going to come to Queensland, mate? This actually was asked a lot by a lot of different people. When are you coming to Queensland? When are you coming to Brisbane? When are you coming up the north? When are you coming up to the East Coast? Yo, all that crap. So everyone asking me, when am I coming over east? I said, you went to Melbourne, when are you coming to Queensland? And the answer is end of next year. I have a big plan for 2019, the summer. So towards the end of the year, I want to go over east and do a tour of the whole coast. Start up the top, even Cape York, go down through Brizzy, back through Melbourne again, go through Sydney, right the way down to Tassie. I want to do the whole coast. People may or may not know the show that I've got going. It's called Show Your Dirt. It's only in WA at the moment. I'm kind of test running that this year. If that goes well, I want to take that show over east as well. So I'll be running that there, as well as meetups with fans. And yeah, just want to go driving with you guys. Show me the local tracks. So definitely coming to Queensland, mate. I'll be there next year. Next question is from Caleb Wells. I think this was a Facebook one as well. What makes you rather patrol over a Land Cruiser? Oh. Next question is by Mark Warburton. I think this was Facebook as well. And this was also a question that was asked 100 million times. Where's me bloody chasing lines? Tonguing for it like a drought on a hot day. Yeah, so about that. It's coming. I kind of messed up when I told you guys that I was going away to film it and now you haven't seen anything from it. But I tell you what, it has been, I am definitely editing it. The thing is, this takes a while, this kind of stuff, you know? It's a lot harder to edit a series like that rather than just a quick YouTube video like this. So it's definitely coming. The plan is to get it out before Christmas or even before the new year. And yeah, it'll come, it's coming. But thanks guys for asking about that. It keeps me going, you know, because it means that you still are interested, you still want to see it happen. There's a lot of other channels out there doing trip clips at the moment, but the fact that you guys still want to see another series of chasing lines means a lot, so I'm definitely going to get it out for you the best I can. All right, next question is Shaquille Nuku. What is one car part you absolutely hate buying, but you have to? That'd have to be tires, like, oh my God. Tires because, well, let's face it, they're really expensive for a start. Some of us run 4, 5, even 6 tires with your spares, and if they're 500 bucks a corner, you do the maths on that. And to be honest, if you got a mud terrain, once they get to about 50% wear, they're not really usable anymore. they don't have the tread to pull you through the mud anyway. So you gotta get rid of them. I go through a set of mud terrains probably every 3 to 6 months, I'd say. So yeah, quite expensive. So that's why I hate changing tires, because it costs a lot. So next question is from Mathorium Crusader. Hey Sam, what's the engine life like? And how's your engine through water crossings? Okay, the water crossings thing is very common. I'm actually gonna do a video on this with the LS motors. They do run well underwater. And the video I wanna do is putting mine in a river or some sort of water and just let it sit there for like half an hour. I'm working on the logistics behind that because I need to seal up the doors, blah, 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 all that. But going back to your question, the individual coil packs, all the sensors are water sealed connections. So as long as you've done your wiring right, you shouldn't have any issues. I haven't had an issue to date with them. So don't be scared by the fact that they are electronic ignition, that you can't take them through water. What's the engine life like? Well, LSs are renowned for having a strong bottom end. I've also done upgrades on my rods and my pistons to beef up that bottom end again. So I did that to make it last as well, especially being in a heavy car. So it should have really good life. I'll let you know when it gets like 1,000,000 kilometers. Right, are we still recording? Luke Van Koolbergen, why did you choose to build a ute over another wagon? Did you ever contemplate a dual cab shop? No, didn't. But the reason I built a ute is, well, my wagon I had was a 2-seater in the end anyway. I gutted the rear seats out, built drawers and a floor and all that stuff, so it was for storage anyway. So when I went to get a ute, the seats weren't an issue, they weren't a requirement for me. Sorry. But I did want to be able to take the weight on and off. So when I go forward driving, I hated having the wagon where it was so top heavy and all that. So having the jack off canopy means I can take the weight off, still go forward driving. So that's why I went the ute. Dual cab chop, never contemplated because, again, I don't need the seats and I hate the way those little trays sit over the back tire and it's over the back axle. That's not good for weight distribution and it also looks ugly and they're pointless to me. Like, why would you have a little tray? You can't even fit anything on it, man. Thanks for your question, Luke. Next is, I think it's an Instagram question because it's sites_and_sounds. Will you mow my lawn? Flick us your address, mate, I'll squeeze you in. Next question is from Randrent Photography. Randrent Photography, I think that's what it says. Sorry if I said it wrong. How heavy is your rig without the canopy? Okay, I've gone over a weighbridge, but the canopy was on, but it was empty. And that was, 3.4 ton. And I think they come out 2.8 ton factory, so you do the maths on that. So somewhere around 3.2 I'd say without the canopy. And that's because I've got all the brace diffs, a lot of extra suspension, and that has gone into it, the steel tray. Even though it's got an alley bed, it does weigh a lot more than a factory aluminium tray. So that's why she's pretty heavy. Toby Starts with 2 A's. What's the next build? Well, I do have more to do on my Patrol. I want to take that through another phase, a bit more suspension work, you know, lower it, make it lighter, drag race it. So that's sort of the plan there, but I do have a couple other things in the pipe works. I want to build an odd highlight just as a basher, have fun with that, something I can just throw bits and pieces on, not give a shit about, and take it bush. Do a lot more challenges with mates and make some cool videos with that. And also I have a little personal project that I'm sort of planning at the moment. It hasn't been put into action yet, but I want to do like an old 1932 or 34 hot rod with sort of full 4B tires, but lowered, but suspension, but wide, but yeah, it's hard to explain, but it'll be awesome. I don't know if I'll film that. If I do, it'll be on a different channel because this is an off-road only channel. And yeah, that's sort of the plan with the builds there. Shane Jenkin, any tips for an upcoming young bloke who wants to get into blogging about some four-wheel drive stuff? Great question, Shane. And I'm also gonna do another video on this as well, I think, because it's something that, there's a lot out there on bloody YouTube and all that. All the Americans cover this stuff, but I think from an Australian perspective and the off-road industry, it's a lot different to over there. If you want to start an off-road channel, I'll go through some of the steps or some of the things that I learned personally and things that I may have done differently if I was kind of to do it again and fast track things. But without going into detail, and I'll make a video on this, but pretty much you need to be consistent, find a niche, be yourself, be different, but act yourself, and listen to the people. That's something that I found really important as well. You know, if people are watching you, you pick out some suggestions and incorporate them into your content, then it's gonna work out better for you in the long run. Jalal654, another Insta question. What breaks the most on your rig? And what's the worst thing that has gone wrong with it? Oh God. Wow, I'll tell you what, it's that bloody roof console. First it came off when I did that jump. Ripped it off, it pulled a couple of the tech screws out there. Well, before we go any further, start off, the reason that it's always falling off is because it was the last thing I actually put together before I went on my trip. When I went on my trip chasing lines up north, it was 2 AM, the morning we were meant to leave, and I was putting that roof console in. So it wasn't done properly, and I still haven't got around to bloody fixing it. God damn it. But yeah, it came off when it did the jump, and then it came off at Power Cruise around the racetrack, and then it came off when I was going through corrugations on my trip, and then it came off when I was doing the burnout, and I'm sitting there driving around just holding this thing up, and I still haven't got around to fixing it. You know, priorities. The worst thing that's gone wrong with it, it would be between it catching fire, and also I remember a time I was in the city and the intercooler watering system got an air pocket in it, and anyone that knows the sound of an electric water pump when there's an air in it, it's like, not a good sound. Like, it was so embarrassing going down the street. It wasn't really bad for it. It didn't break anything dramatically, but it was, yeah, a terrible embarrassment. Sean.Casely, why didn't you go with longer lowers on the Utes rear? I assume he's talking about the lower control arms, I assume. A few reasons why I didn't go the lower control arms. For a start, to do that, you need to weld onto your chassis, and I didn't want to make too many chassis modifications because of licensing, etc. It's just keep things more factory is better off. Also, that gives you more flex, and I didn't really want more flex. I rather lift wheels and use lockers. And the last thing is I knew I was going to change it to a 4-link setup in the end. So sort of that 5-link rear is kind of temporary, and those arms are going to move ultimately in the end anyway. So that answers your question there, Sean. X Alex Gray X. Oh, that's cute. How old are you, lad? 24. Last question. Corey Hammond, what shampoo do you use? Hold on. Oh, so. I hope that's focused. Tresemme used by the professionals, that's why I got it. Anyway, that is a wrap for this week's Q&A. If you have any questions, make sure, or questions for the next Q&A, which we'll probably do in like a month or 2 time, maybe after the summer, drop them down below and I'll answer them in the next Q&A. But I gotta go clean up. Take it easy. Oh hey, click the button to subscribe to my channel and you'll finally be happy.